Hey guys, welcome back to the second video of today. In the last video we talked about the new secret pack Beastly Claws of Terror, and now the new selection pack Inherited Unity, the anime pack. So let's hop right in and let's answer the question, is this the pack as bad as we expected? And I have to say, it's not as bad as we expected, to be honest. We can look at the newly added cards, and there are two cards specific that are really interesting here. So in my opinion, all these anime style cards aren't that interesting. They don't give a big boost to the anime decks in terms of making them meta viable. What is really cool though are these two cards here, which is at first the Firewall Dragon Dark Fluid Neo Tempest Terahertz, crazy name, but Mathmech in its strongest form. Before it was, so Mathmech Circular was hit to 1 in the TCG, but before that Mathmech was making this as its end board monster, and we can read: negate any monster's effects activated by your opponent during the battle phase, and then quick effect, you can send one Cyber's monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard, and if you do, this card gains the attribute of that monster sent to the graveyard. Also it gains 2/5 attack. You can only use this effect of Firewall Dragon Dark Fluid Neo Tempest Terahertz once per turn. This card can attack monsters a number of times each battle phase up to the number of different attributes it has. So what you would do then, and that's something that doesn't work right now in Master Duel, you would send a specific fusion monster, a Cyber's fusion monster from the extra deck, which then in the graveyard would be a negation. So this is nice for Mathmech, though the thing that you originally wanted to do with this is not yet available because we are missing this one fusion monster. I think it's called Cyber's Druid's Worm or Cyber's Desvai's Worm or something like this. It will come in the future. It will come in, don't let me lie, Cybernetic Access. That's, I think, Cyberstorm Access, which is the pack after, so the mainline pack after Photon Hypernova, if I'm correct here, which Photon Hypernova is the pack in which the Kashtira archetype was completed. So in the future this could be nice for the Mathmech deck. Also very nice that this isn't super rare, but obviously you don't need to get this pack for this one super rare. And there's one really interesting ultra rare, which is a Duality, one of the ultra rares that a lot of people expected a lot from, and in the TCG as well, in the OCG was played around with quite a bit. It is a strong card. Let us read it and understand it. Tribute one light or dark monster, special summon one light or dark monster from your hand or extra deck. So extra deck is the more important thing, with the same original type, so for example spellcaster or dragon, and level, but a different original attribute. So basically the different one. So if you tributed a light, you can make a dark, and if you tribute dark, you can make a light. Then during your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one light and one dark monster in your graveyard, shuffle both into the deck, then draw one card. So at first look, this is already amazing. It's like shuffle cards back into the deck, also into the extra deck, and then you can draw one card. This is quite nice. But what this allows you to do is to use normal monsters to get into your extra deck monsters. So for example, you can make your Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, or you could make Telemans Kaleidoheart, you could make something like Despian Cuertes or Alba Lenatus. This was especially interesting in the TCG because over there you could make the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, which normally needs either Dark Magician or the Red Eyes to be made. And Dark Dragoon is a really strong fusion monster that we here in Master Duel have unfortunately on the forbidden list, so it's not allowed here. But you are able to, with Duality, if you play a light and dark strategy, which obviously Despia comes to mind, as well as some sorts of Telement plays and other decks now and in the future, you then are able to basically get one of your bigger extra deck monsters that has big summoning limitations for free, or like not really for free, but you can get it pretty easily by tributing one simple light or dark monster, and then this even has a second effect that you can use to banish this and draw a card and also shuffle things back into your deck. So a really strong ultra, a really strong card that especially in like fusion, but also other extra deck monster decks with the light and dark attribute as their idea will be very big, will be very impactful, and this will find its way into the metagame in some form or the other. So really nice that they continue to, even though these packs most of the time aren't that amazing. There were other packs like this, these packs with some really strange cards in them, some some really weak cards. Enemy is a theme that's not very strong. Also, this is also an interesting thing that I just saw here. Gravekeeper's Inscription. At the start of your main phase, apply one of the following effects until the end of your opponent's turn. Neither player can activate cards effects in their graveyard. Neither player can banish. Neither player can special summon from the graveyard. So you could play 3 of these and then just do neither player can activate card effects in the graveyard, and then your opponent's Tearlament player cannot activate cards in their graveyard until the end of their turn. So this is obviously a cool anti-Tearlament card that is also very new. We can take a look at more of the new cards, but there's nothing too interesting here. Clockwork Knight, but all of these are very low rarity cards here, the new cards. So the only really interesting cards in my opinion are the Duality and the Terahertz. But I think you should never really buy this pack. You should craft whatever you want, because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 is the basic number ultracing here, so if you want to get your Duality, you would have a 1 in 13 chance to get it, so that's not very high. It makes more sense to craft this. If, for example, you would want this card and this card, this, and this, like 6 cards out of these, then go for it, pull the pack, then it makes sense. This one you can also craft if you want to play some sort of cyber strategy. This will be able to be implemented in stuff like Mavmec, Ad Ignister, or maybe, I'm not quite sure if Marinsys can make this, not sure, but this card will be able to be implemented in these decks even before we get the Cyber's Drevais Worm, or how the fusion monster that you want to send here is called. So yeah, interesting cards here. I'm happy that they not only made enemy style cards here, but also released a really powerful card in Duality and also in the Neo Tempest Terahertz. So a really cool update here. If you want to know whether this pack here, the Beastly Claws of Terror Scarecrow pack, is worth it, check out the latest video that just came out on the channel where I talked about this. Also a very interesting pack, I have to say, but yeah, I would not get this. Keep your money, save it for the upcoming new pack, which comes, as you can see here, in 8 days, which is around 1 week. In 1 week we'll get the new pack, where we already know we'll get Purely cards, maybe even all the Purely cards, maybe even only one will be missing. So I think we will be able to play the Purely deck coming next week, and this is a strong deck, will be one of the strongest decks when it has its full support. Maybe we will even get the full support, we don't know at this point. So really amazing here. Save your gems for the next selection pack, which comes in a week. This is my take on this. And yeah, if you like my kind of videos, please consider subscribing, hitting the thumbs up, and making a comment, notification, but I think these things help. Other than that, I wish you a wonderful day, and we will see each other in the next one.